losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest.
All right, everybody, welcome to the next edition, the first edition of Season 31's GOI podcast. We have our normal cast of characters, Kobe and Jacob, and welcoming back from a short vacation, we get Brandon or possibly Patrick Mahomes. We're not entirely sure which one showed up here.
Close and close.
And then possibly some guest appearances, some cameo appearances from Kobe's better half. So if you see anything hit Kobe in the head, that's where it's coming from. So he's probably done something wrong. All right, so we're fresh off the draft. We actually just advanced into week number 1. But we figured we'd kind of talk a little bit about the in between season and the drafts and some big trades that happened. So I guess we can start with you, Kobe. Break you in. Who do you think had the best draft? Anybody standing out to you?
So I know for a fact I saw Tom finally get a burner. I know he's been requesting one for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, if anybody throws streaks as much as me, it's Tom and it's John. So that 99 speed receiver, I think it's going to be very big for his offense this year. Jacob, you should be worried. And another one is Kevin, who had a very good season last year with he lost 3-4 games, took the Bills to the playoffs. He also got a 99 speed receiver. And what he was doing last year with 87 speed Keon was pretty impressive. So he's definitely going to be a threat in the AFC this year.
All right. Yeah, I do believe that the Bears receiver is now called Tyreek Till. So, all right.
Fitting.
So obviously Kobe is definitely enamored by speed. Speed's what gets Kobe excited.
Speed kills.
Jacob, while you're contorting yourself into your hoodie, who impressed you the most?
Kobe stole my pick, so I'm gonna go with my division mate. What's his name? Tom. He drafted a 95 speed linebacker as well, which was that was
another one.
He drafted one this draft. I don't know if he has 2 now or 1, but that was a good pick in the 2nd or 3rd round. He had that wide receiver. I don't know how Neon graded it. I guess you'll tell us after, John, who had the best draft. But I think Connor had a good draft. He packaged up his tight end who we drafted last year and a D tackle for pick 4 and 9. And I forgot the players' positions, but they were good player cards. I remember looking at them, and they were really good cards. So him and Tom. But I have to give the edge to Tom.
You might be surprised who Neon thinks had the best draft, but I'll save that for later. Brandon, any observations from the high mountain?
Well, I think based on the grade book that I gave, I think the Titans had the best one, and I think I gave him a 76.33 as my overall.
Somebody's been cheating.
Spoiling. No, I kind of mirror what Jacob and Kobe said. I think when I was kind of pinging through the text chat, the Bears, Tom, he was lauding his picks. So I think in the short amount of exposure I've had that he might have had the best draft because he was the one that was pumping up his players the most. So I have no figures to back that up, though.
No, he did pick up. I think it was the middle linebacker you were talking about, Jacob, is a 93 speed from last year's draft.
Oh,
but I mean, it's still a flipping fast middle linebacker.
Yeah,
to go along. And now Brandon did steal my thunder a little bit. It was the Titans, and I think that's just an average of all their ratings. So he didn't necessarily get the biggest star. In fact, can pat myself on the back a little bit because I got the biggest star. And it's mostly just because I miss Kobe driving me crazy about cornerbacks that he wants to steal from my team for like a 6-pack of Coors Light. He wants to take my best player. So
next year.
Just to get you excited, Kobe, Gonzalez is now my number 2 cornerback because my rookie blew right past him with speed and overall. So
I should have mentioned that 97 speed guy that you got. I
So,
forgot about him, but he's dangerous. I'll
yeah.
be there next year.
So those are my two cornerbacks. So I'm actually pretty stacked in the secondary, which is good because I can't stop anything. So I have to hope the AI does it for me. And then of course the number 2 overall draft, because Connor's life is to find, he likes to find those diamonds in the rough way down in the draft. So he was actually statistically the number 2 team, and then the Packers were number 3. All those guys were 75 and above. So we'll see how it plays out on the field. So and then, speaking of other off-season things, we had quite a bit of trades go through. In fact, they're still coming through right now.
You have them. I do have
Go-
them pulled up. We can highlight the big ones if you wanted to do
well, yeah,
so.
go for it, Jacob. Lead us through it.
So this is the Jacob segment, just so you guys know. So the first one, sorry, I had to scroll up to it, was we'll actually do Kobe's trade. He'll talk about this player for the rest of the show if he has to. It was the Colts sent their 3rd round pick, Anthony Gold, the 83 overall wide receiver, Julius Brents, the 82 overall corner, for Devon Witherspoon, the 90 overall cornerback from Seattle. So I guess since it's your trade, Kobe, you want to talk us through your mindset here?
I need another slot corner. Everybody knows I'm a fanatic for corners. John said no to me this year. He might not say no next year, though. We'll see. So I had to go out and get Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I couldn't get Tariq Woolen. He signed him for the rest of his life to be a Seahawk. So we went for the next best thing, and that's Devin Witherspoon.
I was going to say, to make it a little more entertaining, since it's Kobe's trade, I won't ask him, but John, do you think Denzel won this trade, or do you think Kobe won this trade?
Going from it, I think I had the Seahawks last edition, and I do think that having a good corner can make a big difference, and he's a great corner. So I always think that whoever gets the best player in the deal, and I believe he was the best player, right?
Yep, 90 overall.
So I think that's the key. It's not real life. If it was real life, you might win by having 3 B+ players, and but whoever got the A player wins the trade. So
yep. What about you, Brandon?
Defense is an afterthought here. So whoever got the most offense seems to get the most out of their trade. So I'd say maybe Denzel won that trade just because he has a wide receiver. And I mean, corners, at least my corners, all they're good for is looking up at the ball as they get beat. So
Yep. Next trade was, I think, the biggest one. You could argue this offseason. It was a 6th round pick and Micah Parsons for a 1st this year, a 2nd this year, or last year. Chris Jenkins, an X Factor 86 defensive tackle, and DJ Turner, the 96B corner, to the Bengals. Kobe, what did you think of this lovely deal?
I get overwhelmed when people add too many players to a trade. So I mean, Michael Parsons was a great acquisition, I would say, for the Bengals. He will have to pay him next year, and like Lathan said, he's asking for quarterback money. So hopefully he'll be able to retain him in Cincinnati. I think Lathan won that trade, though, for me. He got a lot of guys that are probably 24 or younger, that DTs and X Factor already.
Yeah.
And
only 24 as well, yeah.
Right. And all of them are, I'm pretty sure, locked up on deals. So if I had to choose somebody to win, I would say Lathan won that one. But for the long run, at least. We get probably 3-4 more seasons in Lathan. But Michael Parsons is a whole different animal.
What about you, John?
Again, I'm probably still on the same thing. It all depends on if you can re-sign Parsons or not. That's the big part. Because the picks, both these picks are probably going to be lower end picks in the 1st round. So he's going to come up with the best player. Lathan will. The Bengals will. And they're all defensive players. So at the end of the day, it's tough. That's tough. I don't know. That's a tough one, but I'm actually probably going to go against the grain and say, in this case, all 3 of the players that came over, they're still young. They still have a lot of upswing to them, upside. So I think in this one, probably Lathan did win this one.
Yeah, I agree. Brandon?
Well, if memory serves me correctly, Lathan can put up 65, 66 points a game. So don't think he needs too much on the defensive side. But yeah, I kind of mirror what you guys said. You got to eventually pay your best players, and Micah Parsons going to take up a big chunk of that. So I think it sounds like the Herschel Walker trade to me. Like you just dump one player and you pick up all the pieces necessary to make a big splash. So I
Yeah.
think the Bengals got or I'm sorry, the Lathan
Okay.
and the Cowboys got the best end of that.
Yeah, I agree. He's getting rid of the players to pay. He got a younger, better defensive lineman who will be better with some development, and he got a 97 speed corner. And we know how, even though defense is non-existent, we know what a 97 speed corner can do, especially in the hands of Lathan. I'm looking here. We'll go with, yeah, there was two more trades. The next one was me and Dorian. I traded him Amon Ra and a rookie tackle, who's now his second year, 81 overall, Devontae Hillhouse, for 96 speed Tyquan Thornton, Alex Highsmith, who's a 90 overall, and Joey Porter, who's a 70 overall, 87 overall. So real quick, my mindset here was I had a lot of holes on my team, on my defense specifically, and there were not good players in free agency. So someone had to get traded. We filled these positions through this trade that we needed. Dorian gets an elite wide receiver. I will miss you, Amon Ra. But yeah, that was just my mindset there. Kobe, what do you think of this deal?
Well, I definitely like that trade for you. Definitely, I think you won. Dorian got blindsided. He saw some players from his team. Of course, he attacked. I don't think he's ever had a receiver that has less than 95 speed. So, I mean, I want to see how that translates to his offense. He lost Joey Porter, which helps me a lot for later down the road. So, I like that trade for you. You definitely need some more help on both sides of the ball. It helps with your depth as well.
Mm-hmm. John?
Well, don't forget he still has a fast receiver. He's got a couple fast receivers on the
Tyrell
team.
Harold. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got so he's got a little bit. And so did you get Thornton in that trade? Is that
Yes, Tyquan Thornton, the 90s. You gave him Thornton, and I got him now. Yeah.
And gave it. I got a first round pick for that bum. So, but it's Madden. It's Madden. So in Madden, you can make a bum like him stand out because he can get behind. Well, I can't get him behind defenses. I don't know why, but he certainly could. So, but now see, Brandon's gonna be questioning everything because I'm like, wow, he's right. Offense, especially in this edition, wins. So, but I think I like it for you. And in fact, in this trade, I think that you got what probably you wanted and needed. And like I said,
Yep.
I think you'll miss St. Brown, but
yeah.
Thornton will still stretch the field for you, at least in Madden. So.
Yeah. Brandon, any thoughts?
Well, Jacob, I think you got absolutely fleeced, and I'm not going to go into why. I think you're going to have to go to bed at night knowing that you got fleeced, and I mean it's glaring to everybody else, but you'll figure it out eventually. And once you do, you come back to me, and I'll tell you.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
However,
and the last big
Brandon might be the kind of guy that likes to get fleeced. As you're saying that, I'm like, he might like that.
I'm not on happy terms with him. I've wanted Ravens players from him the whole edition. He refuses to talk to me. I just want my own.
Hold on. Before I make it a rule not to trade because last year when I was talking to Peter and he got Jalen Ramsey from me, which I thought was a good deal, but I end up just like leading him on to like 3 or 4 Super Bowls. So I make it a rule, and it's not just you, Jacob. It's everybody. I don't trade unless it is like an absolute killer deal, but that never comes my way. So
Fair.
I kind of deal with the hand I get dealt at the beginning of the edition.
I can respect that. My only counter was I'm a Ravens fan. You should have been They should have fallen to me, actually, not to you. But anyways,
Sure.
I'm making him go 0-17 just to spite you.
okay.
I was thinking we
Um,
should all quiet down. I think Kobe's in trouble. I think he's done something wrong. That looked like an apology posture he had going on there.
Oh
yeah.
no, I don't know. I don't know where
Like
she.
baby, I
don't
promise
know.
I'll do the dishes as soon as this podcast is over. I promise.
The last trade that was the biggest highlight of the offseason, which I think gave Lathan the role of being an offseason winner, was he traded for Dallas Turner, the 88 overall defensive end from Dak and the Vikings, while giving up Trayvon Diggs and Marshawn Nealand, who's a 77 overall. He got rid of Micah Parsons for an 88 overall Micah Parsons on a rookie deal, while he got an 86 overall defensive tackle on a rookie deal. He revamped his D line with two trades, and that's great GMing, I think. And yeah, Kobe.
I actually don't think that trade has went through yet.
Oh,
I know there's
yes.
some.
Is
I
Neon
know there's
updated?
cap is.
Because Dak didn't have the cap to do so.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and there was something about the draft pick couldn't be accepted before the draft is what happened too, I believe.
So actually, that trade hasn't gone through, so we don't have to talk about it. But we'll see what happens, I guess.
So we take it all back, Latham. It wasn't that great a GMing
Yeah.
ship. So
Yeah.
he almost pulled one off though. That would have been a very nice trade.
But yeah, those are your offseason, the biggest blockbuster trades of the offseason. And yeah, that's my segment. Woo.
nice. And one thing everybody should keep in mind is Jacob is in Canada, so when you're trading with him, there's an exchange rate. You should not give up as much as you get because his side is not worth as much. So, all right. All right. So, that kind of covers the off season as far as player movement goes and whatnot. So, it's kind of early, but just looking at it, Kobe, do you have anybody that you think is going to be, a surprise this year? Either way, a good surprise, bad surprise?
Can't speak much on the new people that have joined. So I think I'd say a surprise this year. AFC, for one, I'll go Kevin. I think he might make the championship game this year out of the AFC.
Picks a guy in my division. Shut up.
I think he's got a 99 speed receiver. He has Josh Allen with the strong arm. I mean, he might actually throw the ball deep. And I know that his offense was very limited him in playoffs. So he probably lost early. So I'll say Kevin in the AFC. And then in the NFC, I'm gonna go Cam, actually. I
Okay.
feel like he's been right there on the cusp of making playoffs, winning the NFC. I don't know much about Robbie and his skills, but I think Cam might actually sneak into the playoffs this year. I'll give it to him.
Nice. All right. Definitely an interesting pick with Cam. And he can do it, I'm sure. Brandon, who do you got? Anybody you thinking of? Any big surprises?
Well, I always love the beginning of the season because I'm looking at the standings right now, right above this camera right here, and it says Baltimore's in first place, but I know that's just a mirage. But it's nice to see it up there. Um, yeah, Kobe's right about Kevin. I'm just thinking about people that have just tore me a new one last year, and Kevin was one of those folks that did that. Who else? I haven't played Houston yet.
Anthony.
I mean, I wish I had the state. Was he good last season?
Yes. Yes, he
He was
is.
good last edition. This edition, he's been struggling.
Okay. Um, so I guess Buffalo and Houston, and then the NFC again. Denzel, he was the pain in the ass for me last edition. I think I kept it pretty close, but I think he scored like 60 or 70 on me, and I think I'm giving myself too much credit. But I think Seattle would be a good pick there as well. I don't know if it's a surprise necessarily, but I think the division hierarchies have kind of been um, well thought out by this point.
And I'm looking at my screen and I think she might have taken Kobe out. It looks like he's facing the ceiling right now. No, there we go. All right, Kobe,
I'm
you
back.
okay?
Yeah, we're back.
Do we need to do like a welfare checks and the cops over, make sure you're okay?
No, they've got me signing my life away with these story of media
Oh, okay.
questions before the season starts.
So it's gonna say like blink 3 times if you need help. So, so all right. So, Jacob, did we get your picks yet for
No,
biggest
you haven't.
surprise?
You haven't asked me yet, John. No.
Well, I'm
What?
gonna officially ask you.
Thank you. So I've been waiting for this. The AFC. I I don't know what's been happening with him this cycle, but he has to turn around at some point. I think Anthony turns it around this year and gets into the playoffs, pushes Kobe for that division. We all know he's a good user. This season, additionally, he's been struggling. I'm going to add a little downfall in each because I want people to like tag me and get upset with me. That's what I love. I think Barkley will crash and burn this year from a 12-win season to missing the playoffs. NFC, we got rid of a user. So I was going to pick the Panthers, but I don't know anything about them. I'm going to go with Tremaine to be the surprise pick over there. He's another user who's typically, higher in the standings. This edition, he's been struggling. I like him. We talk sometimes. I don't, I
Was
don't
he
like him.
paying you off?
I hope he does well. The biggest downfall, not Ray. It will not be Ray. I don't know. We're all pretty good over here. I think Denzel will fall off this year. And yeah, I'll win the NFC North again, and those are my picks.
Wow. So
Listen to
Denzel,
this.
remember during trading season, Brandon picks you to be the surprise, and Jacob is picking you to be the loser. So just remember that, Denzel. Denzel is one I almost always go for somebody that, I remember, I believe it's like his first or second year. Kobe, you might remember. I think he went all the way to the Super Bowl against Phil, wasn't it?
Yeah, with the Bears. I remember he had the Bears.
It was his second year in the league or whatever. He just caught everyone off guard.
And played Phil's Ravens, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So. So, and so I always look for him to surprise. I'll kind of go a different direction because you guys hit a lot of the nails on the head. What I predict is I really think that this season is going to be a season where we're going to see some firsts. We're going to see somebody that never makes the playoffs make it and make a good run. And we're going to see somebody, it could be Marty. Marty started off strong last season and then kind of ran into a roadblock towards the end. And then I think we're going to see somebody, won't mention anybody specifically, but I think somebody that's always there is probably going to fall off. Like Kobe might settle down and he might have a lot of household chores to do and just won't have time to find all the mutt plays. I was talking to Ray earlier tonight and, he's like, he made, I think 2 or 3 free agent bids in week 1. And that's the only time he got on the console. He couldn't get in on the draft. He didn't do any other bidding. So, you start pumping out babies like you're a bunny and, things get busy. So welcome to my world. So, and then when you finally get rid of all the kids, like you have arthritis in your hands and stuff. So, you still can't get it done. So, all right. Well, I think we made some interesting picks. One thing that I want to do, and we probably still will do it before we get too deep into this year, is I want to start calling out like how we're doing with these picks. We make a lot of bold predictions, and just like the guys in ESPN, we get half of them wrong, maybe 3/4 of them wrong, and we just act the next week like we never said it. So, in fact, I was thinking about doing a segment tonight, for not only we covered some trades, but who voted no on your trades and their home phone number. I thought that'd be fun. So, I'm just kidding. We won't do that. So, plus, who wants to call Canada? So,
I was going to add, John, before we end it. Someone in here has been talking about putting a ring on a finger of their significant other. So, if they do that, they could be much more busier. And they're a playoff team, a regular playoff team. So, you know who that? Kobe.
Well, I did see he's got the purple do-rag on tonight, so that seemed like he's signifying something. Like he's surrendered his masculinity. It's just
he blows up my phone like once a day talking about how much he loves her and he wants to spend the
Aw.
rest of his life with her.
Valentine's Day's coming up, Kobe. Right around the
Uh,
corner.
Yeah,
And
you
you-
know me for 5 years. You know that does not sound like me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're at the age now where you've probably peaked. So grab a good one now before you start going down the other way.
Oh, that sounds
Listen,
terrible right now.
You're like a running
I've
back,
been
dude.
married.
Like you're peaking at 23. So that's it.
Been married for 15 years. I'm already beaten down. There's nothing this league's gonna do to make me feel any worse than what I do right now.
That's
They
it.
can't take any
That's the
more.
mindset. Good job, Brandon.
In fact, I think that was what one of Ray's quotes in the last month or so is that he doesn't play Madden to win anymore. It's just a way to get his frustration out. So, all right. Any parting words, Kobe, or are you going to take her last name when this happens? Do we have to change what?
You know, Jacob comes on this show and says a lot of lies and things. So, well, no, I've got nothing to say. I hope everyone has a good season, still having fun. I'm currently not, but hope everybody else is.
All right, Jacob. Any words from north of the border?
I say it every time. Win, lose, or draw, have fun. Don't crash out after a loss at 3 a.m. because that's a typical reoccurring theme. But yeah, that's all.
Very good. And Brandon?
Two things. First off, if I were able to beat you in week one, John, I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to go out on top. Secondly, you've made me guys look absolutely ridiculous. I didn't know I had this thing on. I look like a jackass the entire time. But no, good luck,
Well.
everybody. Have fun.
All right. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. As always, everybody's invited. So if you want to get on, feel free to, or just do like AJ does. Don't want to go an episode without missing. Say you're going to get on the entire week and then not get on. It's okay, AJ. It's not that scary. So hop on when you can. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck this season, and we hope we see some fantastic games coming up. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right.